All right, in studio, Janelle, how you doing? It's been a while since we've talked.
It's been about a year.
Yeah.
Here we are. We're back.
All right, Piggyback Foundation, new stuff going on. So why don't you bring everybody up to speed what you guys are doing?
So we discovered over the summer that we love bourbon. Well, we knew
Just
I
discovered.
love. We knew I was
Just
just. It's a new discovery. We did a bourbon event in the summer, and it went over really, really well. And so it was required. It was requested that we. It was required to, but that we bring it back. And so since it's now winter and it's gray and rainy and it is how it is right now, we thought we would do it. So we're bringing it back, and it's just a kind of a bourbon taste and dinner and just a relaxing evening all around.
Okay, so you got any new favorites bourbon-wise?
So weirdly enough, we're going to do this particular event is going to be Ohio Bourbons, which I know, Kentucky is where the bourbon is made.
Right.
But so I've had to do, for the cause, I've had to do some tasting, God forbid. I've learned I like Watershed has a really nice, down in Columbus has a nice bourbon.
Okay.
Some single barrel that I like. And then weirdly enough, we were tasting this weekend, and there is one by Cincinnati Distilling that's called Blueberry Donut.
Interesting.
I know. And I was like, this is going to taste like cough syrup. And it doesn't. It's like I was joking with my friend. I said, it's a dessert bourbon.
Okay.
So I like that one. I like Watershed a lot. There was a couple by Cincinnati Distilling there was a honey one that I liked. And weirdly enough, Gervasi, which is normally a winery, they have a couple different good bourbons, and they're all finished in different barrels. And I like the one that's done in the port wine barrel. So
all right.
We're working
so
on
Ohio
those.
bourbons. I don't think I've had very many Ohio bourbons.
No, because that's not a go-to.
Right.
Ohio
really
bourbon,
not,
no.
But it's nice to discover. Maybe you get a gem in there that you wouldn't have tasted otherwise.
I've had Boom Boom bourbon. Boom
Yeah?
Boom bourbon was okay. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
nice.
good. It's good.
Nice.
I did that.
So what about any of the Kentucky brands or the Tennessee or whatever? Any favorites from that area?
I like Blade and Bow. That's kind of my go-to is Blade and Bow.
Okay.
Like just everyday bourbon,
Is it too early for bourbon? It's 10 o'clock.
Never. Everybody likes EHT. I like E.H. Taylor a lot. What else have I been drinking? Why am I drawing a blank out of nowhere? I drink enough bourbon, for goodness sake. Which ones do you like the best?
So we got this one.
That's a rye.
I was very impressed by that sucker, and we get Weller's usually my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Buffalo Trace.
Oh, Buffalo, yes. Why
Yeah.
couldn't I think, yes, Buffalo Trace is like the go-to, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so we get a new riff. That's a surprising one too. I
had that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What'd you
I
think?
like that. Somebody offered me, actually, the gentleman who owns the barn where this event is, we sat down to talk about the event, and he poured me a new riff. And I hadn't had it, and I thought, I was confusing it with Blackened, which is a bourbon made by, I think, literally the band Metallica. And when I had Blackened, it had a lot of smoke to it.
Yeah.
Clearly, the name.
For sure.
And so I was like, it had a lot of smoke to it, and it was got a little bitey for me. But New Riff, and I was thinking New Riff was Blackened, the bottles are similar.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, that one was good. That one was smooth. I like that one. So,
But I like sampling all kind of different ones. So it's kind of a shame when I go back to the ones I've already tasted when there's so many other brands that you can sample. You know,
I know,
that's what's
true.
cool about the event that you guys have is that you get a new, you get your palate warmed up to some new tastes.
yeah. And I didn't expect it out of Ohio bourbons, but there are some decent ones. The flavored ones, that they're not going to be. They're not. It's not that they're unsmooth. It's just not the same bourbon flavor. It tastes like blueberry. It tastes like a blueberry donut. Like it's very sweet for a bourbon.
So
But
the
it's
purists,
different.
you got to have an open mind and know that this isn't going to be you're sitting around smoking cigars, drinking what your go-to. This is new taste.
I think I am gonna have, because at the end of the last event we learned, we did this. We had Sazerac. I think we had Buffalo Trace. We had EHT. That one was like more of a high-end bourbon one. We kind of learned at the end that everyone really liked sampling what they wanted, and then whatever was left from the sample bottles, I just put on the table and was like, drink up, everybody. And everybody sat down with a cigar, and I think everyone liked that. So just in case, people want their usual go-to, I'm probably going to get some regular, just like a new riff, and maybe some Buffalo Trace and stuff like that for people to sample in case Ohio bourbon isn't their flavor. But it's good to taste. It's good to... I really did like Watershed a lot. Watershed has some nice single barrels that I liked a lot. And weirdly enough, that one from Gervasi really surprised me. So
tell me how this works. So you get a ticket, $100 a person. You got a flight of 4 Ohio bourbons that show up, I'm assuming, and you get delivered.
We kind of did it last time, just kind of let it flow as necessary. We thought we were going to do and talk about each bourbon and bring them out on a flight and this whole. No, it was way better to just let everybody chill and drink and eat. It's $100 a ticket, but all of the proceeds will go back to local families that are battling life-threatening disease. That's our mission. So it's drinking for a good cause, tasting bourbon for a cause.
Yeah.
So don't have to feel bad about it. Not that you should anyway. But we just, the last time we set it up, we're going to do beers to go with it too, because some people will bring a date, or there's just people who want to support the cause, but they don't drink bourbon. So we'll have beers as well. Probably we'll try to focus on Ohio beers. And we just kind of put the bourbons out in the sample glasses and let people take them as they want. We find people are pretty honest, truly. And then there's dinner. We're going to try to do an Ohio-themed kind of dinner. So we were thinking kind of like Polish sausages. I'm a Cleveland girl, so Polish sausages and pierogies. Oh, it is Lent. It is Lent, so we'll have the pierogies because we have to have a meatless option. Buckeyes for dessert. And I think just some kind of appetizer, cheese, blue cheese nachos or something. So yeah, it's just kind of a dinner, come hang out, not a lot of programming, just have a good time. And I find that that's what people want to do anyway. Hanging out, drinking in a barn. Yeah, drinking in a barn. We got to figure out how we're going to do cigars because the barn, you can't have open flame in the barn.
Okay.
And the ventilation, when we did it in August, we were at a place where we could have Cut and Toast come, set up their trailer, and we were outside on a patio.
Okay.
Well, that was a nice sunny 80-degree day, and Cut and Toast had their trailer. The trailer shut down for the winter, so we got to figure out. But we'll make it happen so everyone can enjoy a cigar if they want to afterwards, and not be freezing cold. We got heaters. I'll probably get a tent, so we can sit outside and smoke and whatever.
So, how'd you get involved in bourbon? Like that's not a common thing. So, my brother-in-law just drank it. And what was my husband at the time, God bless him, kind of introduced me to it, and I just started drinking. I don't know. I don't know if it was peer pressure or what, but then I figured out I liked it. So you got pressured into bourbon.
Yeah, I got peer pressured. I got peer
bad.
pressure. It was the best peer pressure I ever had. I got into it, and at first, like most people, it's oh God, that's strong, and then eventually it was like, oh thank God, that's strong.
Yeah.
So and now I can drink a glass of wine, but if somebody gives me like a really sweet wine, I'm like.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I just don't like sweet things anymore.
Not after bourbon.
What about Piggyback Foundation? How'd you get that started?
So that one got started. It's actually, the original is in Norwalk. I used to live out there, and I was part of the board of directors, one of the liaisons, a committee member, whatever you want to call it. And we moved here, and I had a background in nonprofit. And I said to the founder, I said, listen, I love this mission. I have a background in nonprofit. I know how to fundraise. I was so sad to leave it. I said, if I started one out there, would you mind? And she said, yeah, go ahead. And it happens that childhood nickname is Piggy. It's just a weird thing.
Okay.
And I said, can I take the name? And she said, I don't care. Go ahead. And I said, so I'll call it the Piggyback Foundation of Youngstown to keep there from being like any confusion if someone's, we have a website and stuff. So we're Piggyback Foundation of Youngstown. And when I was doing it in Norwalk, I fell in love with the fact that it's filling a gap that just needs addressed. Like helping with quality of life, not just for a patient, because all the attention goes on the patient, but all of the family, especially when there's a child sick. If there's siblings, the siblings tend to get, I don't want to say tossed by the wayside, but mom and dad have to put so much energy into their sick child that the other children, their schooling, their extracurriculars and stuff can just become too much, or just just doesn't happen because of finances, time. And so we help with those things. And it's, a happy family is a good family. So if mom and dad are less stressed out, everybody's better. So I love that it's a feel good. We're bringing a lot of happiness to places where there's a lot of stress. So brought it here, and we've been doing it since 2016. I think we're in year 7. And we're growing exponentially every year, just kind of helping more people, doing bigger and better things with the money. And all of it stays local. And that's the one thing that's different is it's all local. 100% of the funds we raise, nobody takes a salary. I don't get paid to do it. I got paid to drink bourbon. I live in Kentucky, which might happen someday. But
Life goals.
Yeah. I went down to the Bourbon Trail, and there was the guy his name was Bourbon Bob, and that's what he does all day, every day. He tours and he tells everybody about it and takes him to, gets him into the good tours. I'm like, the best job on the planet. Like, but yeah, so Piggyback, we just kind of started, and we've been a group, and my board, most of them have been with me since day one. They just love it. They're a great group of people. Totally, their hearts are in it, and I love them to death. So.
And this area is so charitable when it comes, especially kids. I mean, you do something for Akron Children's or the Piggyback Foundation. People, they stand up for this kind of stuff.
They do. In fact, the other charity work I do is with Akron Children's, because so many of their patients feed into what we do. So it's a natural partnership to just kind of help fundraise for them. And Akron Children, kids and animals run the charity circuit. Kids, animals, and I know the mission and stuff like that. I've been part of that for a little while. So. But I love it, and it's fun, and get to throw events like Bourbon in the barn.
Yeah, right.
and for a cause, why not?
Yeah.
So I love it.
So when you were on the Bourbon Trail, when I went down that way, I got to Jack Daniels, and then we ran out of time. I wanted to keep going east, and I just couldn't do it. But the facilities were amazing. It blows me away with how big the campuses are that put this stuff together. So what was your favorite down there?
You know what? I was surprised. I loved Woodford. They had the best tasting. Woodford had the most informational tasting. It's beautiful. And I also, they had, my boyfriend and I, we went to one that was chocolates and bourbon, which was right up my alley.
Okay.
So, and it was surprising how like the taste of the chocolate can change the taste of the bourbon, and then dark chocolate and light chocolate. I loved that. So we did that. Stitzel Weller has a great bar in there. We definitely hung out there for a while. Nice. And I had Blade and Bone, and I think that's where we had our mint juleps, because we're like, okay, we're down here, we have to do it. And then of course, like Buffalo Trace is gorgeous, and that's my favorite one anyway. And I think we did the tour of Buffalo Trace, that you get to go see the steel and the kettles and all that, and the history. So I like that a lot. And have you ever been to, did you do Castle and Key?
Mm-mm.
Castle and Key is a little smaller one. It's probably going to get a little bit bigger, because I'm starting to see the stuff around a little more. It was pretty. It was really pretty. And I'm starting to hear their name more, so I'm wondering if it's going to get... Like Blade and Bow was down south for a long time, and we would go down south and get it and then bring it back, and now it's in the store all the time. So I'm wondering if Castle and Key will do the same thing. So.
Now, do you have anything in your collection, like a Pappy's or some Blanton's that are, your centerpiece?
I just finished a bottle of Blanton's this weekend.
Did you?
Yeah. I had it. We just drank it over the holidays. I was like, I love E.H. Taylor. So I think I still have about half a bottle of E.H. Taylor left. I have a friend who is quite wealthy, and he has given me Pappy's before. It was delicious.
You liked it?
It was very nice.
Okay.
I don't have a Pappy. I don't really collect as much as I just, if it's there, you only live once, don't just drink it.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So, if I could, I would have a Pappy just to show it off, but I would drink it. I would have friends over and drink it. It wouldn't last long. It would be gone. But yeah, do you have any ones that you...
The one I could think of was a Frank Sinatra Jack Daniels bottle that was kind of special. You have to go down there to actually get it. So, but we ended up ripping through that too. Yeah. So it's just made to be drunk.
Yeah,
made to be drank.
Made to be
drunk.
Yes. Yeah. No, life is short. Drink it. Yeah, I have enough Blade and Bows that there's a key that comes on every Blade and Bow bottle, and they have numbers 1 through 5 on the keys. And there's always one key that's hard to find. It's for a while there it was number 5, and I found at a place in Salem. What is it? I want to say Eddie's, but that's not it. Anyway, there's a little shop in Salem, and I was living out there for a little bit, and they always had 5s. I don't know if they send the odd numbers to these small little towns where they're obscure, but so I had all these 5s, and but if you send, I think you take a picture or something of all 5 keys and you send it to I think it's Stitzel Weller or wherever the Blade and Bow is made. I forget which one it is. They will put you in I think it's the Gold Cup Club.
Really?
They engrave your name in a gold, and you have to go down there to get the Gold Cup. And when we were there, there's cupboards full with glass fronts that have everyone's cup in there.
That's good marketing.
So now I want to go do it. I'm like, I got to go back and get my cup, obviously. Clearly, that's what just for the stupid cup, It's like a Wheaties box prize, but yeah, who cares? Who cares?
So I know this takes a lot of your time, but what else is Janelle in these days? Any other pursuits? Any exciting things?
Real estate.
Yeah.
Still working real estate. If anyone's buying or selling. I work for Next Home Go 30. Doing that. I work with a lot of investors. Thinking about getting in some investing myself today, or sometime soon. But yeah, I'm looking at buying and selling. I just got into real estate about 2 years ago. and loving it. So, and I do tend to like to take whenever I get like my commission. I do tend to just automatically put like 5% of the commission goes into Piggyback Fund because
Sweet.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Right.
As you know, like I always put money away for charity. So anybody, you know, if you're buying a sound, at least it's good.
It's a good
It's a
reason,
good
right?
cause. Yeah, the payment's going somewhere good.
Yeah,
So
I've always wanted to get into real estate investing, but I think I lack some of the skill sets there. It's a little intimidating.
No.
No, you think it could be done?
You did this.
Okay,
You
all
can
right.
do it for
All right.
sure. And you're so good at marketing. It's all about marketing. I can market the daylights out of the charity mission. I can market an event all day, all night. Promoting myself.
Self-promotion, you're too humble. That's
It's-
it.
It just feels awkward. It just feels, I mean, maybe, I don't know if it's humility or just I feel awkward. Like, call me, I'll sell your house. Like, how do I? But this, I can talk all day, you know, like the good things that the charity has done and how much fun we're going to have at the events. And, but yeah, I mean, but when it comes to other people's houses and stuff, I know the strategy behind like who to call and say, hey, are you interested? And market it, you know, circle marketing in the neighborhood and stuff like that. So I'm good at that too.
All right. So $100 a person. You still have tickets remaining.
We do.
All
We
right.
have
February 16th.
Yep.
6:30 p.m. in Canfield. How do people buy tickets and learn more about the event?
If they go to www.piggybackyungstown.com, it's right there. There'll be an air bubble that pops up, and you can get the tickets right there online. On that graphic, there is a QR code that you can scan. It'll take you right there too, and it is at a private venue at a private barn, so it'll be really cool. It won't be, you know, it's going to have definitely an intimate feel. It'll be cool. So
And it's a bring your own cigars, or you're going to have a vendor there?
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a vendor there.
Okay,
I
good.
mean, I don't care if somebody does bring their own cigars. Like, go ahead. But I'll probably have a vendor there too, so you can try out whatever. I had the last bourbon event. I smoked my first cigar. It was
Really?
grape flavored.
Oh, come on. You did it dirty. That's like somebody coming into the bourbon
I know.
realm,
Drinking
right?
blueberry donut.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm a bourbon drinker.
Yeah,
Like,
look at me.
you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere. I don't even know what my first bourbon was. It was probably Blade and Bow, which is probably why I love it. I don't know, but yeah. So I'll try to step up in the cigar world this
Okay,
time. and
I'll
maybe-
bring you a special one.
Okay.
We'll hang out. And
Okay.
I'll give you your first real cigar.
Okay, I definitely did the thing where you inhaled. I didn't. I
Don't
definitely
do that.
choked. I did
Yeah,
it
don't do that.
twice.
Okay.
But then I kind of got the hang of it, and it was
Yeah.
better. But I don't know if it's something I would do every day. But it was a fun experience that night. So we'll do it again.
All right. Janelle Nagy, Piggyback Foundation. Make sure you check it out. Piggybackyoungstown.com. Thank you,
Yes.
Janelle.
Thank you so much.